Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. It's quite hot. It feels like July, and I am probably wearing the wrong outfit still today. All right, so today I would like to first off thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, and thank you for commenting on my videos. I truly appreciate it, and I really did have a lot of fun sharing my grandmother's and great-grandmother's crocheted items as well as my own last week. And then things are getting better. I mean, you can't dwell in the mire of despair. I mean, I know I can. I can do that really well. It just makes everything so miserable. So, live and learn and move on. But something else transpired during this time, and I'll get to that later, and it is about failing and how to get yourself out of that mire of despair. But yesterday, I became, no, I no longer am a Knit Picks affiliate. I took away the link from all of my videos. It has nothing to do with Knit Picks company itself. It has everything to do with their, I don't even know what you would call it, their marketing partner. At first, it was done with Share a Sale. So when I signed up with Share a Sale, I signed up, I filled out the tax documents, the W-2 or whatever. I don't know what else you would call it. Filled out the tax documents, did all that stuff, and they then were sold to another company called Awin. I believe that's how you say it, A-W-I-N. And they said it was going to be a seamless change. And then they were like, hey, you got to do the tax documents. And I'm like, well, I already did the tax documents. So being busy, I kind of forgot about it. And then I wrote myself a note that I had to take care of it. And so I was trying to take care of it one night. And there's no phone number. There's never anymore. Can't talk to a real person anymore. It's all like, live chat or robot. So I stopped because I didn't know, I don't know how to upload a PDF from my computer, and I didn't want to ask the person that knows how to do it in the house because it becomes too big of a deal. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the JPEG. I mean, I would have to I don't even know what you would need, to be perfectly honest. Like, is it federal? Is it state? Is it both? So I waited till yesterday after school, and I got onto the live chat, talked to a really nice man. And I had made some sales, affiliate link sales, and I knew I had at least $17 coming to me. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it was like, yay! I can, Anyway, according to Awin, I only had $4 coming to me. And I was a little irritated. I'm like, does that money get dissolved over time? Like, you didn't claim it and then it gets sucked back into the company? Did the $17 never even exist for Awin? Is the $4 from something else? I don't know. And then the guy, I said, can I just dissolve my account? Can I just delete my account forever? And he's like, yes, but taxes and stuff. And I said, I have never received a payment from you or Share a Sale, so I don't owe anything. Even though I made money, I never received it, never got a check. They told me, because I remember talking to a person with Share a Sale, and they said that they would be sending me a check. Never received a check. A little irritated, because I'm trying to do stuff and it just seems like an uphill battle. Anyway, so I eliminated my account, and I'm no longer an affiliate member from Knitpicks, which now I feel more free to state how and when and what. And I like Knitpicks as a company, but they did have a carpet beetle situation a couple months ago. And then after that, I realized, or I shouldn't say realized, I knew that they merged with We Crochet and a quilting thing, and I can't remember what the quilting thing is, which then I watched a different podcaster who did a deep dive into it, and essentially it was bought by a private equity firm, aka the downfall of Joann's and Red Lobster and Toys R Us, etc., etc. So when I learned that, I thought, well, how long is Knitpicks even going to be around? I like Knitpicks. I will keep on buying from them as I can. I like their needles. I like their yarn. Their customer service has always been pretty good. And I say pretty good because I haven't really had to deal with them on a regular basis. So, yay on that. So, that aside, I am no longer an affiliate member. That is fine. Will I become an affiliate member with someone else? The possibility is there, but if it's through the company AWIN, then maybe not, because it seems exhaustingly difficult. In fact, they said the reason why you're deleting your account in one of the selections is the website is hard to navigate, and that's the one I clicked. So maybe it's my age, maybe it's just not for me at this time. All right, moving on. It's just sitting here. I don't have it like pinned or anything. It's just sitting on the back of my couch. I tried to get the light on it, but then it just kind of washed it out. And as you can see, it says bread. All it needed was a blocking. I just soaked it in water and pinned it out. I put my, I don't know what, the bar pins around here, around the edge here, top and bottom, and the side. And then I took T-pins, and then I brought out each of the points. And then after it was dried and hidden from the cats, because I know the cats like to take out the T-pins, which is extremely dangerous, but they're sassy. So then after I let it dry in a safe spot away from them, I weaved in the ends. It was really easy. I don't know why I was so afraid, but I think I do let fear hold me back often. I can sit here and say, don't let fear hold you back, but I do, and I make mistakes and I dwell in failure. Especially when you keep making the mistake and you're just like, then you start really second guessing yourself. Yeah. Let's go on. Okay. Now, I don't have a dishcloth handy because I hide those from the cats, but I have, okay, I'm going to tell a little story. On Tuesdays, we have Treat Tuesday, and that's each person at work signs up for the treat day, and you bring in whatever you feel like it. You want to make cookies? Fine. If you want to buy donuts? Fine. If you want to buy chips and salsa? Fine. I like doing that. And I always buy a lot. I like getting the big jug. Like, I would think it's like a half-gallon, close to a half-gallon sized jug of salsa, and then write staff on the top of it, and then they have it until it's done, right? And then, so, you have to plan for at least, I thought, 55, and then some, because who wants seconds? Who wants thirds? Who's really hungry that day and didn't bring a lunch? You know, I think like that. So last Tuesday, the person who was in charge made puppy chow, put it on an email. I was like, ooh, I like puppy chow. Puppy chow is Google it. It's like chocolate and peanut butter covered in what do you call it? Powdered sugar. It is delicious, and just to have a like a small little handful, a little pick me up, I was really looking forward to it. I even went to work early that day. I went to work early to get some puppy chow. I thought there should be some left, it's anyway. So I get there, and there wasn't any left, and I was like, oh, bummer. Everyone must have really enjoyed it, but the bowl was really, really small. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it may have fed less than 10 people. If you each take a small handful, pretty soon it's all gone. So there was another treat situation this week where the person forgot and someone else stepped in and paid for the treat. And then there was a comment from one of the coworkers, and she stated, Treat Tuesday has been renamed for Snacks for 60. And it was not a very nice email. It was not very nice. So, but I realized, oh, we have 60 people here. Okay, so I need to make 60 dishcloths. And I was only going to make like 65. And I always give my cousin 3 because she always hosts Thanksgiving. And, I always give her at least 3 so she can have them or give them to others if she wants. So I have decided that I am making between 65 and 70 dishcloths. I'm looking at my notes. And I need to make in October and November to get to 70. I need to make 25 per month, which is not bad. I made 20 last month. I think I had some left over from summer, but I don't think I was more than like 5. So maybe I made 15 last month. So I'm going to try to get to that minimum of 20 per month and up to 25, which is about a dishcloth a day, essentially. Can it be done? Yes. Do I like doing dishcloths constantly? I guess boring. I like to work on my other stuff, but if I just work on it here and there, I have been bringing it to work. Some days I can actually sit down for my 15-minute break, because now that has changed a little bit, and I find myself running around and doing other things during that time period, which, I'm only there for 4 hours. It's not really that big of a deal. And I just want to knit. That's all. I just want to knit or crochet, but knitting is easier to bring to work. I don't know why. It just is. So I am planning, fingers crossed, 25 per month, which, I have made myself a deal because I finished 2 days ahead of time. So I think I finished on Sunday night. Wait, today's Wednesday. Yep. Sunday night. And I had made 20. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done for the month. I'm going to work on other things. And I did work on other things. And it was glorious. I have been feeling the urge to work on my vegetable patch cardigan, and I forgot where I was located. Not in the pattern, just like how much I had knit. I thought I had knit a lot less, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how much I have. And I only need to make 3 more inches of the back panel before I start doing the armhole shaping, which is awesome. So let's dive into that. Let's see. This is a lovely pattern. As you can see, the last time I talked about it was way down there. I worked on this. I really enjoy this pattern. I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the color Shire, which is a green color. And it has flecks of blue and gold and brown. It's not a tweed. It's their regular Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, which is 100% Peruvian wool, and it is a worsted weight. I just love it. I'm just gonna hold it up. Not get in the coffee. I hope you can see. I love this pattern. So you only do the cable motif. You only do the cable section on one row, and the rest is following the pattern, and you do the slip stitch detail on 2 rows, and it's just nice and easy. The pattern states, I should look and see who wrote it. The pattern states to use the same needle size the entire time for the ribbing, for the, what do you call it, the body. So it is done in pieces and it's knit from the bottom up. I started this before I realized of, like, I'm doing it in size 48-inch bust, which I realize is large for me. Tempted to go down to the next size down, which is a 45.5-inch bust, but I haven't looked at the instructions at all. Like, would I just be able to do more decreases, or I'm gonna have to look at that. Or do I just keep it as is? The thing is, I just don't want it to fall off my shoulders. Yet at the same time, I want to be able to wear clothes underneath it, and as well as wearing it outside underneath something. So I'm thinking the 48 might be fine. As you can see in this picture, well, let's see, it kind of sits on her shoulders. The good thing about this book, which is from Knit Picks, Homestead Cables, I mean, I do like Knit Picks a lot, and I was really honored to be an affiliate member with them, because I thought, I like the yarn, I want to do it. It was just the company that did the payouts. No, yeah, the payouts, the, like, I'm gonna gripe. I got a notification from Share a Sale to get on the list to try a new yarn, the Dilly Dally, which was like a cotton linen with them. I think, I know for sure it's cotton. And I thought, oh heck yeah. And it said something like, you know, get a couple free skeins of this yarn and then make something out of it and talk about it on your podcast. And I was like, oh, hells to the ass, I want to do that. Sorry, I'm pretty lame with my lingo. Anyway, I never got a response. I tried over and over. I thought I had the wrong link. It just was like this thing that it never existed, but it did exist, but it didn't exist. It made me angry because I thought, am I doing something wrong? Is it something I'm not knowing how to do? And I will blame myself all the time. All right, griping aside, I'm doing the Vegetable Patch Jacket by Anni Howard. Oh, that's a bad picture. Here, let me get on what my notes out. Well, let's do this. There. I mean, it looks so pretty. And it says the sample is a 42.2 225, and the model has a 34-inch bust. And I think, if I'm correct, does it say? You know, sometimes it says, oh, here it is. It's supposed to be worn with a positive ease of 5 to 10 inches. So I am about 6 inches, so that's right in between it. So I think for just sake of ease, I'm going to keep it the same. And if I have to, I can always like put a string of elastic in the back and kind of cinch it together. You know, it's supposed to be oversized. So, let's see, what else? What else can I talk about this? I just was really happy to get it out. I was really happy to start working on it again. I can sit down and do this cable pattern all the way across, because once I look at the row that I'm on, it's the same all the way across. I'm really looking forward to having this on me. I mean, like when I put it here, it seems like it's gonna fit just fine. All right, I am not sizing down, no matter what. I mean, if you did make something too big, is it the worst thing to do, like put 100% wool in the dryer on low for a couple minutes? Has anyone done that? If you have, and you have the knowledge of that, that would be really helpful. So I do have enough yarn, because when I bought this yarn 2 summers ago, oh my gosh, it's been sitting on the needles for far too long, and it needs to get done. It needs to be showcased, you know, like, haha, I finished. So 2 summers ago, I got a gift card. Knit Picks gave me a discount for my birthday. They did not do that this year. And so like I had a gift card of $50. I had a discount. I think it was like 25, maybe 30% off. I think it was 25% off. And I just was like, now's the time to buy it. So I bought more than enough yarn, so I know I will have enough. They still, I think they still have it on their website. When you get down and out and you refuse to do your own knitting and you're sitting and wallowing in you tend to look at yarn stores to make yourself feel better, and then you say, I don't really need any yarn at this time, but isn't that pretty? Or, ooh, I'm going to try that in the future. Or, oh, they have a sale, and you have to talk yourself off the ledge. Do you really need that right now? Or are you just trying to fill the void of feeling crappy? And I said, I'm feeling the void of feeling crappy, and no, I do not need it right now, and save it for the future. So, the next thing I'm going to discuss, I'm getting pretty close to having, I have 3 pieces out of the 5. Yes. So I'm making a sweater, a cardigan, out of Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca blend. I'm using my Ann Bud's the Knitter's Handy Book of Sweater Patterns. I'm doing a set-in sleeve crew neck for this version. I will be making a button band for the buttons. I don't know which buttons I'm going to use, but I do want to use buttons. Now, you can't really, it looks like a tube, but this is the right front? Yeah, this is the right front. No, left front? I don't know. I'm going to have to block these. I decided that I have my 2 fronts and my back. I'll just show the back. So I do have some lifelines in here to denote, instead of using like pins or the light bulb pins, because I didn't want any of the yarn to get wonky which can sometimes happen when you roll it up and store it. So I left the lifelines here to show where the armhole starts. And I really like this method of doing things. It really helps measuring. So it's all bottom up construction. I did a 1x1 rib on the bottom for 1.5 inches. And then since I started the first sleeve, I have been thinking to myself, I should, because I only have so many blocking mats, and I thought about buying some last summer, and I just never did. And then I thought, you know, do you really need that many blocking mats, or could you just plan to do it in stages? So I'm going to start blocking this, and then like block. I think I have enough to do 2 fronts, because I have 9 blocking mats. So if I could do the two fronts, and then I know the back needs the whole thing, because it's just, you know how backs are, they're small on top, wide on the bottom. So that part is awesome. The Upcycle Alpaca blend yarn is available only in the worsted weight, and I am using the sport weight. And this is the beginning of the sleeve. Now, the thing I like about the Ann Buds books is that it's an older style. I'll just show you on the back. It's kind of an older style of things, but you can modify it and do whatever you want. So I knew I needed to get up to, I think, 108 stitches, and in the pattern it said to start at 60 stitches. So I thought, that's too tight, because I want this to be a cardigan, and I might be wearing like a long sleeve shirt, and I just don't want to have, you know, like cinched in. I just kind of want it to be there, you know, comfortable. So I decided to do 78 stitches, and now I know I need to increase 30 more stitches, and so I have my little pins here. Can you see? So I've only done 3 increases so far, and you increase on each side of the needle. You can, and I've done this too, but for the drop shoulder, I don't know if you could do it as easy with the set-in sleeve. You can just knit in the round. I mean, if you know how to start here and make a cap and knit down, which I've done, but I've done it only with instructions, never on my own, then you can do that. Or like with the drop shoulder, which is just a simple tube, I just did it in the round. I don't like knitting in the round a lot. I will do it, but I prefer to knit flat. I don't mind purling, and the purling actually, you know, I use my muscles in a different way, and it really helps with my hand tension, with my hand exhaustion. So, you know, I don't mind the purling. So one sleeve has started. I'm going to start blocking these, and then maybe seeing them blocked will help me get the gumption out. Like, part of my rule of getting enough dishcloths done for the month is that I have to, like, say today I have this much, so I have to do at least half, if not a whole dishcloth. And sometimes once you get to that halfway point, you're like, well, I'm already halfway done, and I got time. So I will be picking up more ticket booth sale shifts in the near future. So if I could get as many done, what if I got one done a day? And in the month of October, I got 30 done. Ooh, then I don't have to get 20 done next month. But, you know, whoa, Nelly. I used to say that all the time, and then I named my dog Nelly. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Now, next thing I'm going to discuss, I'm so close to finishing something. Not entirely, but when I was feeling pretty shitty, I didn't want to think. I was thinking way too much. Maybe I should have done cables, because then it would have like taken me out of that thought and I would have to think about something else. So I'm almost done with this skein of yarn. This is the purple heel. I have the red heel and the purple heel. And I know once this gets done, I'm going to be around 7 to 7.5 inches. And I'm unsure, these are not for me. I'm unsure how big to make the foot part, because you're supposed to start the toe shaping about 2 inches from the toe, right? The tip of the toe, the tip of the toe. So I asked the person, because you know how schedules are, to get their foot wet and, you know, either put it on the pavement, which it's really nice and warm, so it's not like the depths of winter. Hey, freeze your foot outside for me. No, get your foot wet, do it on paper or pavement, and then put a ruler next to it so I can see where the heel starts and the toe starts. Heel starts and the toe ends. Heel starts and the toe ends. And then I can adjust, because I did make this person a pair of socks before, and they're like an inch too big. I've been thinking about like how I could fix it, but anyway. So all I'm doing is going in the round. Black yarn is not as hard as I thought it was going to be, which is good. And once I get done with this, I will leave, let's see, probably about like a tail this long, so I can weave in through the stitches the other skein. I have one skein left to do this pair. It is just the Patton's Croy sock superwash with, it's like, what, 80% superwash, 75% superwash wool. Let's see. 75% wool and 25% nylon. It doesn't say superwash, but I think it is. Anyway, it's going well. It's going fine. Yes, during my sadness of last week, I was looking at different types of pointed needles, like the Addi Flexi Tips. I saw someone use them and I'm like, I wonder if that would be fun. Anyway, they're very spendy. So I did not. So very close to being done with these, and then I will start working on my orchid ones more, and then I can be able to give them and be happy. And I really hope they fit well this time. The last thing I'm going to talk about before I talk about other things is the Sailor Swift top, and it's coming along. It doesn't look like it is, but it is. So I keep forgetting to increase on one side. So when I'm knitting and you do the increases, I have these blue pins over here, but then I was forgetting to do the increases over here. So that's happened twice now. I forgot, and I was already on my, so you do the increase row, then you purl, then you knit, and then you purl, and on that next purl, I'm like, I didn't increase. Then I would check, nope, I didn't increase. So the next knitting side where I had to increase anyway, I increased twice. Because I was not going to rip it back. I thought that was just too difficult. So it's coming along. It's not, I haven't really worked on this too much, but I really do like working on it because every time you get like to a certain part, you're like, oh, I'm going to do yellow. And then the next part, woo, I'm almost there. So it is really nice. I am keeping track. I think I'm on the third increase. Yeah. It's 6 increases all together, but you don't count the first one because it's kind of like the setup, and then you have to do it 5 more times. So I only have 2.5 left to go. I'm using Patton's linen, which is a cotton linen mix. It's a discontinued yarn. The needles I'm using, I really like them. It's the Knit Picks lace. I just really like them. I like their stainless steel. They smoothly glide. I really like them. I had to take, how did that work? Okay, I had to think back. So when I started the sleeve on my Upcycle Alpaca cardigan, I needed this size needle to make the ribbing. And I didn't want to put stoppers and get out another cord when I had this handy dandy cord hanging nearby. So I carefully put all my stitches on hold and on my tie-it-on tubing, and then I quickly did the ribbing, and then when I was done with the ribbing, I switched up to my, I think it's a size 4 for that pattern, and then I just put the needles back onto this one, and it worked really well. I'm going to do the same thing if I'm still working on this with the second sleeve. We'll see. Which one will be done first? Who knows? But I had started a tank top loosely following a pattern, but I made it extremely big and extremely wrong. And so I had like 2, say, 10-inch panels, and it just would have been wrong. So I cut the yarn, and I started undoing everything, and that's why I have these balls. I have 2 more balls in this bag. So now, when I was so sad about my screw up, I'm really hard on myself. I failed horrendously, and I overstepped my position at work, and then I used a term that I won't even repeat now. It's not like a really horrible word, but it just has a bad connotation to it. And the more I say it, the more I say it. The more I say to myself, you should never say that word again. So now I'm turning, I realized last night, back in the olden days, when I was a child, people use the R word all the time. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what word I'm talking about. But I don't say that word. I say the R word. You know, like if I said, oh, she's the C word, you know what I mean. Okay? I'm not going to get into it that deeply. So I'm now using it's a different letter. It's not the R word. I never said that. And I never said the C word either. But it's a different letter, and I didn't even realize that it was wrong because a former coworker told me that's what I should call them. I'm going to be perfectly honest, when she quit last year, like 2 summers ago, I did a happy dance because she was not a nice person. And she only stopped focusing on me and trying to get me fired. I mean, it was pretty hell for years. When a different coworker started working there, and she then focused all of her hate onto her, and I feel really bad that I never said anything, but I was afraid. I was afraid of the workplace bully. So I made the mistake. I said the incorrect term, and I really beat myself up about it. And I mean, I talked about failing and how not to sit and dwell into the failure, the mire of failure, and because you don't get anywhere then. But it's harder to do than to say. It's really hard to apply it to your life, especially when you hold yourself to a really high standard and you shouldn't make mistakes because you're not allowed to make mistakes, which I get from my upbringing. Never was allowed to make a mistake, and if I made a mistake, I was punished for it. So, anyway, doing the podcast last week, which is something I would never have done even a year ago, because I just started this at the end of, or the beginning of December, somewhere around there, December of 2024, I think was like my first one. Like I recorded it in November, but then I didn't put it up until December, or I had to redo it. So then it was December, learning. And doing that podcast and putting it all out there, like feeling shitty, showing my grandma stuff. That never even occurred to me a year ago from today. So I just thought, all right, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to podcast, but I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to try this avenue of expressing my works of my crafting for a few reasons. One, it would be lovely to earn a bit of income doing this. Two, it helps me get out of my shell or rut or insecurities, because you're putting yourself out there for anyone to look at, for anyone to watch. I could get some person who thinks I'm just, pooh, and they could tell me, and they're right, First Amendment and all that stuff. But I refused in the depths of my despair Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think I started again on Thursday. I mean, I couldn't even knit. I couldn't even, I would do one row and I just put it down, and I'm like, why even bother? What's the point? Why should I? I'm just a failure anyway. I mean, I'm not even get into all the negative self-talk. And that is something you shouldn't do, but it's so easy to do. And then I admitted my failure. I told my boss, and I'm going to just say, if I make a mistake and I get reported to HR, then I have to accept that and move on. And, I worry a lot. I just do. I'm riddled with anxiety, and I just am. I try not to be, but it's really hard. Knitting and crochet and teaching myself how to sew and doing embroidery, or teaching myself making bread. I was so fearful of making bread because I didn't want to make a mistake. And what if I made a mistake? Then it wouldn't be good. I've made mistakes making bread, like forgetting salt. You don't have to put salt in, but it doesn't taste the same. Salt is the spice of life. So anyway, once I started forcing myself to make, I said, you have to make these dishcloths. You said you were going to make these dishcloths. You are not going to fail at not making these dishcloths. So I forced myself to do a dishcloth. And I was like, ooh, I love finishing something. Felt so good. I finished the right panel of my Upcycle Alpaca cardigan. And then I was like, oh yeah, baby, I'm back. I'm back. And this weekend I pulled out my extremely long, lingering vegetable patch cardigan. And when I did that, and then I measured, and I was like, I only have to get to 18 inches before I do the shoulder shape or armhole shaping and shoulders. And I'm at 15 inches. Whoop, whoop. So that really helped. And then I made another mistake this week because I'm trying so hard not to say the word. I'll just say it's a variation of the word handle. And it's wrong. Extremely wrong. So now it's the H word. And I keep saying that to myself, the H word, because it's wrong. Anyway, when I did it yesterday. I immediately apologized. I didn't mean to say it like that. I just, you know, when you're trying so hard not to screw up, and then you do screw up, and then you're even more mad at yourself because you are over 50 years old and you should know better. Yeah. So I told on myself immediately. I went right to the principal and I told him what had happened. And, you know, I was blubbering like, I was just crying, uncontrollably crying, because I'm trying so hard not to be. I want to call myself a loser. I'm trying so hard not to be pathetic. And I made a mistake. And he said at one point, what if I made the mistake that you made? Would you have forgiven me? And I said, well, yeah. I would say you're learning and it's okay, and you made a mistake and you realized you didn't mean to say it, and it just kind of like blah. But it's not okay for me. That's how I feel. It's not okay for me, but it's okay for everybody else. And I am more understanding for their needs and their stuff. So then this morning, I'm reteaching my brain to not even think of that word at all and use a different code, like, you know, the C word. We'll just say that. And so then I was on Instagram, and someone had posted, I think I know who it was, but I'm not even 100% sure. I saved it. I think I took a photo of it, but it said something about to forgive yourself. And I don't remember the exact wording, so I'm going to paraphrase. And it said something on the lines of, if you can't forgive yourself, you're also harming others. And I really thought, like, oh my, that's true. Because I've been in such a negative mind state that I've given myself headaches. I've given I hurt myself this summer, and my sciatica triggered because of this. Like my body was screaming at me that I was so miserable. And then I thought, I'm not there for my daughter. I'm not there for my pets. I'm just sitting and wallowing in my anger and frustration with myself. Now, I'm not saying that forgiving yourself is an easy thing, especially when you've been trained all of your life that you don't deserve forgiveness. It's really hard. It is super hard. And it's super hard to explain this to others who had a different upbringing. They just don't understand how you could be so angry at yourself. Now, I was talking to a coworker of mine, and she's the same age as me. I just love it. Like we don't even have to say too much, and we just know. Isn't that wonderful? Gen X rules. Anyway, and I said, I think, how did I put it? I think you understand the level of responsibility that we had. And she goes, oh yeah, yep. And I said, like, I'm so mad at myself and I'm punishing myself. And she's like, I do it too. I'm not happy she does it. It makes it seem more relatable, more understandable that I'm not the only one punishing myself when I make a mistake or, whatever. So, anyway, I cannot say how much knitting and even doing these podcasts has helped me gain the self-confidence to not even to learn new things, to accept my mistakes, learn from my mistakes, as well as, fix mistakes. There was a time where if I made a mistake on a sock, I'm not kidding you, I did this. I made a mistake. I'm going to show this one sock here. So I had, I do top down. So I got all the way down the cuff. I did the heel flap, and then I did something wrong between the heel flap and the turn heel. And I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And I ripped the whole sock apart. I frogged the whole thing and reknit it. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. And I thought, it's better just to rip the whole thing apart and start over. Which I did. But now I can see my mistakes, or I know how to fix them. Like if you drop a stitch, I know how to fix a drop stitch now. And that stuff is very frightening. Or like when I had to fix my Sailor Swift top because I put too many stitches here and I had to pick up stitches so I wouldn't lose those live stitches. I just took my time. And since I have done it in the past, I knew what to do now. And it worked. And I was very happy, So I just want to thank you so much for sitting here and listening to me ramble, giving me the comments that I got choked up a little bit last week. And I just want to thank you so much because I was so mad at myself. And I still am. But stitch by stitch, I will heal. And I want to be there for my daughter and not here fighting with myself or giving myself another headache or, talking negatively to myself. And it's a hard thing to learn not to do. But I'm learning. I'm teaching this old dog a new trick. I have never wanted to be my cats more. This week I have wanted to be. And then I was talking to my coworker I have a lot of coworkers. So I was talking to one of my coworkers and I said something like, I so wish I was a cat this week. And she goes, me too. She's like, oh, I want to come back as a cat. And then all I'm going to do is sleep 18 hours a day. Oh, at least I'm not the only one that wishes that she was a cat. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming and commenting and subscribing and liking. I really do appreciate it. I will say, yesterday I thought about dissolving this channel. I was like, I don't deserve this channel. All I do is talk about failure. I'm just nothing but, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting and I was watching YouTube on my TV, which is right here. And I was like, I was ignoring my responsibilities in scrolling on the TV. And I just was like going down and I saw, like they had the little circles of the channels you tend to watch. And there's my face. And I was like, oh, look at that. There's my face. And I looked and I went, oh my gosh. And then I got on my phone and it's true. I got another subscriber and it made me so happy. So I changed my mind. I'm not dissolving the channel. I really need this platform to remind me that I don't know, life is full of mistakes and you just have to move forward and figure out stuff. And if the mistake is huge and you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. Period. So I will be off to make supper here in a short bit. My daughter will be home from school very soon. And I really like that. I'm surprised it stayed there the entire time. All right. Well, I am off to make and finish a dishcloth, make supper, put stuff away, do the thing that needs to be done, and kiss my cats and kiss my puppy. And then maybe my daughter will even let me give her a kiss on the forehead. Because teenager. Well, it's a hard time for that age. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.